listen up, Brandon. Oh yeah, you want to wear a shirt?
I'm pretty sure it won't fit me.
It's long enough. Like, the sleeves are a little shorter, but I think you'd be alright.
Let's get this over with.
Fine. Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnes.
And today is the day that Godzilla came out yesterday.
Look, I love you, but we gotta do this.
We got to do the review, buddy. We'll get right here. Get in the middle. You have some valuable information you would like to...
His value information is...
That's what he thought of the movie. But anyways, Godzilla vs. Kong came out.
Wait, is this the spoiler, or...?
So we're doing spoiler-free.
Spoiler-free, okay.
Spoiler-free first. So, this video, we won't worry on anything for you. It'll just be super vague. We're not even going to talk about the plot.
You want spoiler-free review? Go watch it. It's okay.
Find out for yourself, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Welcome to our 30-second reviews. Go watch it. Why are you here? Go torrent it.
You could already watch it, but don't... No.
Go find that one friend, steal his information, watch it.
That's a little better.
you will decide that it's worth it, and you'll go see it in the movie
video coming out. If you want to take Warner Brothers stuff, you go right ahead.
Yeah. Those guys.
Anyways, so we've checked it out. Personally, I watched it on HBO Max. I'm assuming that's the same way you went.
Yeah.
No. Give me a look.
Life is You killed him! You just broke his heart!
It's my only toy, even though I got 3 other ones in this office. Anyways, you're distracting. For the movie, in terms of the plot, I thought it was all over the freaking place.
It had a lot of holes. Like, there was a lot of holes. Just easier ways to explain. There's a lot of holes in this movie.
I will say, yeah, it's definitely one of those, in terms of the plot, I feel like the less you think about it, the better. It definitely has a Dragon Ball Z movie quality to it.
Yeah.
Because with the way the plot's set up, I think it's fine overall. But it's more like when you start like putting 2 and 2 together and then trying to like tie things in to the previous movies, you're going to have a hard time, and especially with returning characters. And that's probably my other most disappointing thing about this is there's there's nobody interesting in this entire movie. No. Except for, I would say, the Titan podcast guy was fine.
This
I'm not going to get into the details. We'll talk about the spoiler. I think he, as a character, he at least had some motivation. At least he wasn't in the movie just because he had a van.
Why did you have to bring that up?
There's other problems. I think overall the Kong part of this movie works. Because they try to do, Kong has kind of a story, Godzilla kind of has a story. Kong's story is pretty much King Kong escapes the movie.
Yeah.
While Godzilla's is, I don't want to say Weird Stranger Things says, but it's like kids on an adventure to find the truth.
It's his mating season, okay? And he's just very, very backed up and very stressed out. Lizard.
He's very upset. Then the motivation for the monsters is odd for this movie, too.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, like, the way they set up previous movies, it kind of tries to make it make some sense, but for me, it didn't really quite really hammer it home as much as I really wanted it to.
You want a close representation of this movie, Godzilla King of Monsters?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, the thing I actually really like about this movie is anytime there's monsters on the screen, the movie is fantastic and visually.
It's great. Anytime there's humans, it's like, oh my god, just kill me already.
This is one of those movies that I feel like when somebody puts like the YouTube video of just the clips of the monsters from the movie, probably should just watch that.
It would be like the Godzilla's Revenge. It's just clips of other ones, you know.
It's just like the highlights.
Yeah, call it a day, you'll be good.
Yeah, because the monster part of this is actually really good. And again, like, the Kong story of this definitely has a lot more going for it. Even though, again, the human aspect that's kind of like sort of driving the movie a little bit, the people aren't interesting that you're following. So, in that regards, the most interesting person in the movie is the giant gorilla that scratches his butt. Although I will say that the way this movie's set up, it makes me really just want a giant monster movie with no people. Or if there's people in it that they're just kind of like there because the monsters are there destroying things, not really like part of the plot.
I feel like straight from the beginning of these kind of movies, humans should not be part of the plot.
Because it could have just been following Kong the entire time. It just could have been like I would say Kong needed to be like talking and then like actually the sign language thing was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So maybe like he could have been like the story aspect that you could follow could maybe between like him and her, and everything else is left out. Like she just kind of shows up just to kind of get the narrative going a little more.
Yeah, she was just there to nudge it a little bit and then just move.
And the rest of it could have just been visual storytelling.
Yep.
And then I think that would have worked because especially like when Godzilla shows up, you kind of understand the reason why he's showing up for the most part. We'll get into the spoiler thing about my thoughts on that, but still, you generally get the idea.
No, I will admit and say this. This probably movie has my favorite villain of all times, period.
Mechagodzilla?
Yes.
Mechagodzilla is cool.
And it's not because of his design, it's what he does. It's what he is in this movie.
I don't want to get too much into it because a lot of it's going to be more of the way the combat, like the way they fight. I don't really want to get into it. But
I can say this part, though, without spoiling anything. He's a dick.
He is a dick.
He's a dick. I love it.
But to be fair, Godzilla's a dick in this movie, too.
That's what makes it great. That's what makes it great. It's just two bullies fighting each other.
Right? And then Kong's got to be the equal.
Like, it's amazing. Like, I love it. He's just the greatest villain in Godzilla universe I've ever seen, period.
Also, one thing I want to bring up, too, is if you guys watch the trailers, you generally got the sense of how the movie's going to flow from the way the trailers were. Like, there isn't really, like, any surprise, like, oh, hey, we're actually going to get to follow Godzilla and stuff more. Not really.
I do like, it kept the Godzilla's presence minimal, but he was still the, like, vocal point.
Yeah, like, he's there. He's pretty much, like, the way the trailers make him see, he's sort of like our antagonist.
Yeah.
In a way, but then there's another antagonist in the film. And then that kind of presents its own problems for me, but again, that's more spoilery than I really want to get into. The monster designs in the movies are great. Like the Warbat was really sweet. I actually like the way the Warbat was. Like the way it kind of fought in the movie.
I love what he did at the end of the Warbat scene. That's all I'm going to say.
That part was great too.
And the lady was like, ugh.
I will say, after seeing the movie, the Mechagodzilla design doesn't bother me as much as the Playmates had it going. I still like the actual Toho ones better. Like, this doesn't replace 70 Showa, Heisei, or Kiryu.
I will say this is my least favorite design, but it's my favorite Mechagodzilla, period.
I like that it had a little more personality.
That's what I love about it. It's like all these little things that they did to the Mechagodzilla in the movie, like added all these little things, and it just came out like perfect.
Then he seemed like a threat.
Yeah,
a legit
he was.
Threat. Well, to be fair, like they're supposed to be, but he was like, he's essentially like the Juggernaut.
Can I help you?
When he happens,
you just snored on me, and now you're just.
He's like, I can't get comfy. I just want to sit in snugglers. Nobody's paying attention to me. He's a good boy.
Here, let me move.
Other than that, the only other real thing, like this again, like the visuals in this movie are amazing. Like especially like I like that all the fight scenes you see everything.
That was one of my actually problems. Is I don't understand what was going on, or maybe it was just me. But each time Godzilla was on a screen, it felt generic. Like the fight scenes were kind of weird. Like it's not like 2014 or even King of Monster.
Not a lot more fast paced. It's also very Heisei with beam spammy.
And even like the battle scene with like the Kong that he had. Like there was one point where like Kong is flying across the map, and it was just like really bad CGI. Like the way he hit the building and it was like bouncing. It made me feel like I was watching like Godzilla 2000. Is it one or the two? Which one is that one with the robot? Oh God, I can't remember which one it is right now. But it was more like a comedy Godzilla thing.
Okay, I got you.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, the Mechagodzillas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, like, I don't know, it didn't really bother me. And then the way like the scenes were set up, like there was lots of like really awesome shots in this movie. And this again, a lot of it has to do with the giant monster stuff. Like for instance, like when you first really get to see Godzilla, you just see like the people are just looking off in the distance, and you just see him just like, like it looks great.
You paid attention to the soundtrack?
Yeah.
I was way too much into the battling to pay attention to the soundtrack, honestly.
It's kind of a Godzilla thing.
I was completely... The actual battle scenes were just the greatest battle scenes.
Like, the battles are cool, but like that's where my feeling is like the music was kind of generic. Where, like, King of the Monsters kind of had, like, a nice, like, homage to the original movies, and you get the nice orchestra.
This isn't Hellboy, okay?
The new Hellboy was kind of bad, too.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what kind of reminds me of this. Like, the music's just weird. And then, like, don't even get me into, like, the Stranger Things music when she shows up. And I was just like, it's like that neon lights. Just stop driving it home. I know she's from Stranger Things. It's okay.
That was unnecessary. That scene was unnecessary.
It's stuff like that. Because even, like, the intro has, like, that weird, like, almost, like, synthetic kind of sound to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, that's how, like, the battles felt for me. Like, just like the soundtrack. It was kind of like...
But I just went... Anyways. So to conclude, I think the movie overall was fine. I'm still debating if I like it more. I think... I'm kind of on the same boat as this with King of the Monsters.
I like it more than King of Monsters, but not as much as the original Godzilla.
Well, I hate to say it, because it's like, I like the action of this movie better than King of the Monsters.
Yes.
But the humans had more things going on than the other one.
But I'm not
like, at least
humans. I'm here
like
for
at least
monsters.
like the reoccurring characters like actually had reasons to do things that they were in King of the Monsters.
Hey, original Godzilla had the best human in it, and he died about halfway through.
That is true. Bryan Cranston's the best person we got out of the Legendaries. Followed closely by John C. Reilly from Skull Island. Pretty much anybody from Skull Island is better than most everybody else we've gotten from these movies. That's why I still, like, personally, I still think Skull Island is the best movie.
You disgust me, you Brie Larson lover.
Well, okay, she's kind of generic, but like most everybody else is fine. Like I'm almost like Samuel L. Jackson and his little crew, like they all have character.
They do.
Like they're all great. And same with John C. Reilly.
But yeah, again, I'm not here.
Tom
for
Hiddleston
humans.
was fine.
I'm not here for humans.
But you spend the majority of the time with them. At least make them watchable. Like for this movie, like one of the human characters on, like I started busting out my phone. I haven't even seen it yet.
I was more into the monster scenes that I don't even remember a lot of human scenes. I kind of blurred them out.
Well, I was in the monster. Like I watched monsters. Like, oh, this is pretty, and then like people start talking. I'm like, how's YouTube doing? So, again, I feel like it's mostly the same time for me. Like I like a little bit stuff better between the two, but neither of them are really perfect enough for me. Then
what a needy Steve he is.
It's true, because like Skull Island flows pretty well. 2014 works pretty well, other than like the giant cock tease, but still works really well.
2014 is
I don't want to get into a spoiler things too, but it's just like the jump between the way the world was in 2014
the way it is
to
now.
the way it is now.
Even the Godzilla, like, the way he is. Even the way the Godzilla is in 2014. The way
right, he does
now.
like one beam and gets tired.
I think that's.
This was just like.
I think this is for the spoiler part that we're gonna have to bring up in the next video.
Yeah, we'll just call it good here as we're rambling a little bit too much. But again, I enjoyed it, but not as much as some of the other movies in the Legendary. If you guys are into Godzilla, I still think you'll enjoy this. If you're just watching this just to see if it's a solid movie, you're gonna probably have some issues.
Don't pay attention.
Although the funny thing is I watched this and then I finally watched Batman vs Superman. I don't get why people crap on that movie so much. I thought it was fine.
I'll tell you one scene. Martha! Save the Martha!
Oh, that's the weird part. Like, once we got there, he's like, oh, we're friends now. I'm like, okay, that's a little bit of a jump.
That entire...
But this movie has a little bit more jumps than that I gotta try to
that
grasp
entire
to
thing is what people crapped on the entire movie for, is that scene.
Yeah, then the fights could have been maybe a little better. Like, the Doomsday fight was cool.
You are fighting a king immortal versus
he
a
has
human.
kryptonite.
You know, that's a whole nother story. Let's just end this video.
Anyways, help us meet those guys by hitting the like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. Let us know in the comment section below what you guys thought of the movie. And we also got Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, Facebook. Guys, looking to be up with the video channel. Donate, greatly appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.